国人ばかりいる。
僕が感じるのは東京が人が多すぎる。だってさっき僕コンビニに入ったじゃないですか。傘買うだけなのに前に20人ぐらい並んでますよ。
それは見えた。だからまあほんの読む時間がある。
大変ですよね。確かに東京は多すぎるし、いろんな店もあるけど、人が多いですよ。
Hello. There we are. Let's see if I can... Okay. Can't quite hear myself the way I want, so 1 second. Okay, there we go. That's a little bit better. I have a new set of headphones. I got a Bose set of headphones the other day because the ones that I've been wearing are not very comfortable when worn for long periods of time. And these ones don't have as much power behind them, so they're a little quieter. How am I doing? I'm doing all right. I hope. Also, an apology for those of you who saw the or heard the audio cut out for a second there accidentally. I have a cable, and I don't know how to route it, but it runs over a mute button that kind of sticks out. It's a weird mute button, and so when I was using that cable to plug stuff in, it automatically clicked the mute button. So I apologize. I'm doing well though. How was your All Hallows Eve? We did a stream last night. Ivy and I did a stream together. It was together and apart at the same time. It was kind of interesting. We didn't stream on mine. We streamed on hers, but it was my voice through, and we played some Jackbox Party. Just watched her play Grand Theft Auto and commentated, which is one of my favorite things to do, just for the fun of it. And then we played... we did something else. I can't think of what it was, but yeah. You played Little Nightmares. Very nice. Did you play the first one, or did you play the newest one, the third one? We've wanted to get the newest one. We wanted to get the newest one. Speaking of which, autumn sale going on right now. I'm not sponsored by anything. I don't get paid anything for this. It doesn't matter. First one. The first one, that's a really good one. And I like kind of how the lore is starting to kind of at the end of 2 was kind of beginning to intertwine, which I thought was really neat. So I think it's going to be the third one's going to be really good, but the first one is a classic. And then I got Ivy the little a little figure of the protagonist from the second one. Bought the game for like $5. Yeah, so I was going to say sales. I don't like Steam. No, nothing against anybody who does. I very much do not like Steam. As a matter of fact, last night we were going to play a game and we found out that we don't have access to it anymore. We bought it, but we don't have access to it anymore. We can still see where we can click on it, but we can't do anything with it. We can't use it. So I'm very much against Steam in that regard. If you like Steam, fantastic. They do have a great sale. But right now, GOG also has a great autumn sale going on. As a matter of fact, I think Cyberpunk 2077 with the DLC is like $39.99 right now, which is insane. And they are also giving away a free copy right now for everybody who is a GOG member or who has a GOG account. You don't have to spend any money. They're giving away a free copy of Stasis for the spooky season. They do this kind of frequently. If you've never been a part of GOG, GOG will sometimes. Steam does it too. Steam's done it with the game Tell Me Why. They had it where you could get Tell Me Why. GOG is doing it. They do it pretty well, at least once a quarter, and you get a free game just because they're tossing it out there to you. So if you want to go claim your free copy of Stasis on GOG right now, I highly recommend it. It's a really cool game, and then of course they've got some really great sales going on over there right now. Where again, much like Steam, things are like $1 and so. Or so. In some cases it's $1, $2, $3, $4, $5 for things that would normally go all the way up to $50, $60, and some small instances, even things that are more expensive might be less. And remember, when you do buy from GOG, you get to keep that copy no matter what. That copy can be burned onto a disk. It can be put onto a flash drive. It does not require internet to play. And if you don't like the latest update, you can always roll it back to the update you prefer the best. So, just as a side note to everybody, again, I'm not sponsored by this at all. I don't get anything for it. I just really, really, really like being able to own the things we buy. I also just finished downloading Doom Eternal and am planning on playing that later. Fantastic. I love the Doom games. I honestly think they did a really... So I'm a classic Doom player, which I don't think is a surprise to anybody. I was a classic Wolfenstein 3D player, and I really, really, really enjoy those classics. I think they've done a really good job with both of those franchises in their remakes. I really think they've done a great job. If you've not played it, Wolfenstein has, I think, 4 games out right now. I think it's 1, 2, the New Order, or the new. Wait, is see? I think it's the New Order, the New Colossus. There's another one. Maybe it's 3. It's 3 or 4, but they've got 3 or 4 of them out. I cannot even remember, but it's really, really cool. And then Doom, same situation, is Doom Eternal, and Doom Dark Ages. Dark Ages is great. Again, they're doing a great job with the story. The disappointing part on that one, and one of the things that's going to make it very difficult for me to purchase that until it's way cheaper, is, again, the fact that they only put about 85 to 125 85 to 145 megabytes on the disc, and the remainder of that game has to be downloaded. So you don't actually own that game at all unless you buy it through someone who gives you the full file. So one of two things. Again, I'll either wait until it goes heavily discounted, and then I will purchase it for the heavily discounted price, because if I lose it, then so what? I've only lost a couple of dollars. Or again, I'll wait until it goes on a platform like GOG, and I'll buy it there. One of the ones that I was given yesterday, which I thought was kind of nice, which I thought was kind of interesting, is Starfield by Bethesda. And of course, Starfield is on the disc. It does have a patch that's required, which is, again, a little bit of a flag, on the play. But the majority of the game is actually on the disc, which is something that makes me very, very happy. So, and then again, to be given that is quite nice, versus having to go out and buy it for expensive. I know in most of the places we were at, just the Steelbook and some downloadable content was like $40 for Starfield. So to be given a copy of Starfield, maybe I'll wander across and find a Steelbook case. But I've heard fun things about it. And again, I like Bethesda. There was an interview that happened about a year ago with the maker of, or one of the head designers of, I'm trying to think of what the game was. Fallout, I believe it was. Yeah. And he kind of talked about, and I agree with this wholeheartedly, he kind of talked about how there's overcaution. He talked about how there's overcaution, or people are overly cautious in the game development world. They're not really willing to make great mistakes and push out games that might have a bit of jank to them. And he worded that in a lot of regards, we look at some of these more janky games as charming. It's not something that strictly looks like they didn't put TLC into it. And he kind of cites his own product in Fallout, which the very first Fallout, for anybody who's not played, is an isometric style adventure game. I agree with him. I don't mind. I mean, I don't want it to be bad. I don't want it to be unplayable, but if it's got a little bit of jank, like Oblivion having that voice line left in where she asks for another take. Or one of my favorite moments in, somebody shared it on the internet, but it was somebody talking to one of the elves, and then her going, "I just love dogs, don't you?" And then you turn around and her husband is beating off 2 wolves with his bare, I think he might have a knife, but he's fending off these 2 wolves with this, like, with a weapon, with a knife or a sword. And I'm like, I love that kind of stuff. That's just fun. So, yeah, when you say a bit pricey, though, I mean, I don't blame you. I don't blame you at all. And here's the thing, too. I want to be very clear, because I had this conversation yesterday. I don't have any problem whatsoever with people enjoying Steam. I don't have any problem with people enjoying downloads and convenience. I don't have any problem with people being okay with the fact that the games that they buy are not usually on the discs anymore. I recommend a website called Does It Play, which will, by the way, tell you whether or not the game is on the disc. If the game is on the disc, it'll tell you how much of the game is on the disc. It'll tell you if you have to have online. It'll tell you if you have to download anything before it's playable. It does a really good job of that. And so if you're curious and you're like me and you want to buy things that you can own or have or use without people shutting you down, or at least with a lower likelihood of that being a probability or possibility, doesitplay.com is a great free resource for that. But I don't have, I want to be very clear that it's one of those things where I guess ever since the Ubisoft president had kind of stated that people would need to become more comfortable with not owning things, I felt like that or not owning their games, I felt like that was probably the step where I was like, okay, they finally, what is the phrase? They've said the quiet part out loud now. And it's already, I'm not going to, we could talk about all these other things and be all these other things and be a little hyperbolic and say everything's dystopian. It's not quite there yet, but it is very disappointing when you purchase a game at $70 or more and you start to find that you don't have that game 2 years later. So, Oblivion NPC interactions are absolute gems. I completely agree. Again, Skyrim has a couple of those charming moments, but I don't feel like it really captures the warmth of and depth of character that Oblivion has. There's just something there's just something really nice about Oblivion to me. But yeah, anyway, I know I get up on this a lot, and I'm promoting GOG all the time. And again, like I said, I don't get paid. If GOG came to me and was like, hey, can we pay you to do this? I'd be like, in-store credit. I mean, if they gave me a really nice deal where I could make some, where I could pay bills or whatever, then that would be fine. But I'm happy doing it for free. I really, really like them. I really, really like owning. Games. I personally remember one time where a game that I downloaded and owned was shut down. I used to play Paragon on the PS4 until it was taken down. I'm glad it was free to play, but still, yeah. So we've had examples of this for a very long time. One of the ones I think is the kind of first major citation, and there are other examples I'm sure, was a game called Mag. It came out exclusively for the PlayStation 3, and people would buy this game, and people bought this game for pretty close. I believe it was pretty close to, if not completely full price, which at the time was about $50 or $60. And it was, people were playing the game and doing their thing, and then it was shut down, and it was like, all right, there's no compensation for this. There's no, the server can just go down. And I'm okay, by the way, if you buy a game that is, I think there's a little bit more effort nowadays to disclaim those types of of games. Like, for example, if you buy Overwatch and it's not, I think the nice thing to do would be to permit somebody who might have a personal ability to host a server after that to let them host it. But yeah, lost their money over that. Another one's Prop Night. Prop Night was another one. You bought the game and the servers are down as of January of 2024. So whatever money you've spent on Prop Night, and that was one of the games we got burned on. We had Ivy and I had each bought a copy and had played it. It was a lot of fun. And there's no, if you just bought it right when they had shut down, they would give you a refund, which of course is fair. But for anybody that was beyond a month, I think, out, then it was like, nope, that your money's just what it is. Even though the company shut down. And we lost money on that. So it's why I'm very much, and Steam has also gotten it too. In the state of California, it was a couple of years ago, the state of California actually required Steam to disclaim on the side whenever you purchase a game from them, you are not purchasing the game. You are purchasing a license to play that game. And if you read the EULA, there are a ton of circumstances under which they can revoke your right to play that game. There are a ton of circumstances where they can go in and say, well, I don't think you any longer fit the criteria. You forfeit your license for that game, and you can have your games taken. It could be something like not following code of conduct on the multiplayer side of things, that they may block your access to the whole game. There's nothing to protect you from getting, even if you're just being obtrusive on the multiplayer side, there's nothing in the verbiage to prevent them from just blocking you the whole game through. If there's a single player element, that could be included. You would hope that they're more sensible, but there's nothing to protect you from having that blocked also. So, that was the, so it's why I'm such a huge advocate. I recommend everybody buy, if you can help it. I'm going to give you my ideal way. Please do it whatever way you're comfortable with, but I've been gaming for decades at this point. I've never really been burned on now that's way more than a ban. How do we mean? Or which part was it that I was talking about? Are we talking about if they could take your right to single player? Because you have to think about this. Look at the console. Think about console bans, right? A console ban. Let's say that you're obtrusive on, because I'll give you a key example of this. Let's say you're bad about. Let's say you have somebody who owns a bunch of games. Yeah. So let me give you an example where I know that this has happened, and I can actually cite 4 or 5 people, not myself, but 4 or 5 people that I know and have first-handedly witnessed this as an issue. And this goes to console IP bans. So let's think, for example, about a person that's really, really just terrible bad mouth, saying awful, maybe racist things, maybe, I don't know, right? Just terrible things they have no business saying. They go online and they do that. You can actually be IP banned. That IP ban doesn't just prevent you, and I've seen this done on PlayStation more than Xbox, I will say that. But it can be done on Xbox also. I have seen it done once on Xbox, and the remaining 4 times are on PlayStation 5. I've also seen it done on PlayStation 4, right? So you can actually be IP banned. If you own digital games and you are IP banned, you are also IP banned from the store. Okay? So you can't go back into the store and even re-download your old games. Right? So if you don't have that game downloaded, all facets of that game downloaded on your console at the time of your IP ban, you can't go back and get your games. You have to buy a brand new system. If your account is banned, same situation. If your account's not allowed online, you cannot go back online and download your stuff. If you get a Steam account banned, the same thing is applicable. You cannot go on and download. And because most of your games nowadays are requiring you, if you don't have a physical copy and you haven't verified whether or not it's on the disc, most of your games are now requiring you to have what we would call a handshake. It's where when you put the disc in, it quickly sends out a signal to the online and says, can he play this or can't he play this according to the internet? And then he gets a yes or no. If you can't get that handshake out, right, because you're IP banned, you're banned, it won't even let you play your disc game unless the disc has the whole game on it. So, for example, if you have the Baldur's Gate 3 physical edition, it's on, I think, 4 discs through patch 5. You can play that whole game with no permission from the internet required. You just have to pop it in. You can be completely offline, pop the disc in, no big deal, right? If you want to get additional patches beyond patch 5, you do have to connect to the internet, but if you want to go all the way up to patch 5, which by the way is completely playable, very, very playable. It's not just playable, it's good. You have all of the discs right there. If you want to play all of your multi-disc games, in fact, that's a good indication. If you have multi-disc games, that's a good indication that you're getting most of the game on disc. Cyberpunk for the Xbox was that way, etc., etc. Okay? You're getting most of your game on disc. If you're getting a single disc game and it's a large game and you have to handshake or download additional patches and you're banned, IP banned or otherwise, where you can't get to the store, you can no longer play that disc game either. Now, I want to be very clear. I don't think anybody should be saying awful, hateful, racist things. I don't think anybody should be saying a bunch of terrible things unnecessarily. I think terrible things have a place to be said. Racist stuff, not so much. But I think harsh language and harsh words and even quote-unquote hateful words, if if in a direction, not just to provoke somebody, but if in a direction to kind of show you hate this particular thing and therefore you're going to act proactively against that thing, right? Not harmfully, but proactively in a way. I hate. What's a good example of this? I hate inequality. Inequality is a weird one, but then I'm going to act. I hate it so much. I'm actively going to say terrible things about it, but then I'm going to work in service to remedying it. Right. The point being is when you make certain comments like that, you're kind of at the mercy that the person listening or going through or combing through all this stuff doesn't agree with you and considers that type of hate, which I would consider a productive type of hate, a counterproductive type of hate, and then ban you. So you can actually lose your games on this. This is why I say GOG. GOG has been doing this since about 2007. They've been around for a long time. They're 18 years old. 17, 18 years old now. I've purchased games. I've never been denied access on a game that I have on GOG. I go through, I have games that I purchased in like 2007, 2008. I bought the Thief games, I think it was back then from them. Still have full access to them. And again, there are a lot of people that I know that like to burn their own discs and put their own print their own disc art and such. They're doing that. And I'm like, oh, how cool is that? You can put them all on an external hard drive and boot them from the hard drive. You can put them on a thumb drive. You can put them on a CD-ROM. You can put them on a cloud if you really want to keep them up to a cloud. Wherever you want to put them, you can put them wherever the heck you want. And on top of that, GOG makes sure that you have access to them permanently. And you can go on and just, And I think GOG does a really good job because I think GOG kind of doesn't do a lot of the online multiplayer stuff. So they're just like, we'd rather just people have fun playing these awesome games, and we're not real interested in a lot of the online multiplayer. I'm like, that's what? You're worried about people doing this and that and the other with your games. You just don't offer that. You're like, if you want this, you can go somewhere else. I get it. It's like, man, I like that. Knowing your limits or knowing what an appropriate limit is. But yeah, absolutely. I've seen a lot of that kind of stuff. Whenever you buy, that was one of the big things when I bought this PlayStation that I had to repair, that I told her, so we got to turn the thing on and we got to connect to the internet. And she goes, why? I was like, she was like, the thing turns off randomly. I was like, okay, I think I can fix that. But on average, it's like 20, 30 minutes, right? And she was like, yeah. I was like, okay, so it's probably overheating. That's something I can fix. That takes some time. But before I buy this from you, I need to make sure, because she's like, if you buy it, you can't return it. I'm like, it's fine. I think I can fix it. I think the radiator's clogged, and I think the liquid metal, I think there's probably oxidation on the CPU, and I think the liquid metal's probably all slid to one side because it was standing up and down, and you shouldn't do that. You should lay your PlayStation 5s down on their sides. And she goes, oh, okay. Well, I said, we got to connect to the internet, though, or I won't buy it. Because their manager was like, I want to get rid of this thing. I was like, yeah, we have to, we have to connect to the internet. If we can't connect to the internet, why? Because if it's IP banned, even if I fix it, I can't use it. And that was how we had to test it. She didn't even know about that. A lot of people don't realize that. So it's really nice to have protection of your games. Well, the way that I like to think of it, I agree with that. But the way I like to think about it is, imagine for just a moment that you've purchased a car and you have driven the car pretty well, right? You're not swerving all over the road and this and that and the other. You're doing a decent job of driving. And let's say one day you have another guy who is, the guy that owns the factory that your car came out. Let's say it's Mr. Ford himself, not Henry, but whomever the Ford is today. And he was riding behind you, and he sees that you kind of list a little bit off to one side. And so he doesn't have any authority to do it. He's not an authority figure. He's not there trying to rehabilitate or anything. He just sees you kind of doing that. And it's you driving in a way that he doesn't like. Maybe you favor the right side, maybe he favors the left. I don't know. So when you get out to park your car, he jumps out of his car, says thanks, pulls a master key out of his key ring, locks his car up, grabs your car, starts your car up, and then drives your car off and says it's mine now. And he's got that master key, and he could have done that at any time for any reason, by the way. There's not any protection. There was nothing when you bought the car saying he couldn't do that. And so therefore he does. And he runs off with your car. And now you're like, I still have a way to do this and that and the other. I can still walk, I guess. I can still run. I can still bike. There are still things I can do. But this big purchase that I've just made that cost as much money as it does and that was really nice and convenient for me in some ways is taken away by this guy because he didn't like the way I did something. Not because I did something wrong, but because he didn't like the way that I did it. And it's like, that's kind of the world we're living in with the gaming industry right now. So again, I'm nothing against you. If you enjoy Steam, I actually had this conversation, I think it was earlier yesterday. And I had it with somebody who said, I really am, I don't like the fact that I'm becoming more comfortable with digital, but I am, and it's just what it is. And I'm like, look, I'm not criticizing you. That's fine if you like digital. But at the end of the day, it's if you sit there and you're like, I like digital and it's super convenient for me, and then you lose your games and you're like, oh, well, I'm not going to change. I'm still going to buy digital, but I'm really angry at everything. I'm going to go, well, okay. You have things that you can do about that. I'm also a little worried about the more comfort, and again, I'm not criticizing anybody, again, if you do, but I am a little worried about when people do have become comfortable with digital or with not owning their stuff. I'm a little concerned that might become the majority, and if that becomes the majority, then those of us who are in that minority are going to kind of get pushed to the side. I'm a little worried about those of us who want to own our games, and we're going to have to be more vocal, and we're going to have to, so I don't know yet how that's going to play out. I would like for it to just be, I like these companies that are really just doing the best that they can to try and, I guess, be gamers themselves and kind of do what they would like. Like GOG is a good example for the disc. Again, The Witcher 3, the whole thing, it's on the disc. It's like, there you go. It's a big game, but it's all here. I also finally bought Vampire Survivors recently, and I'm really excited to play it. That is a really fun game. I have played that. I own it on, I think, Xbox, Switch, and my phone, along with the Castlevania stuff. Castlevania DLC. See, going in that same vein, but segueing just a smidge for people that make games that, I think that was a part of a game jam, right? But for people who make games, who really just like games, I really, really, really like that. I really like those types of games. I like people who just make games because they're happy to make games. It's the reason I like it's the reason I like CDPR. It's the reason that I like Larian. To some extent, Frogware, I think, kind of does it now. What was it? Who made Sandfall? The guys that made Clair Obscur. Like, I like people that they make the games, and you can just tell that they love games. You can just tell that they love making games, And I think Vampire Survivors was I think it was the same thing. They were just like, here you go. This is something kind of fun to occupy your time while you're sitting in the middle of waiting on a plane or whatever you're doing, waiting on public transport or whether, and here you go. This is just some stuff you can do. I think that's really, really cool. So there are a couple of little games that I think are kind of like that. Speaking of vampire games, if I don't know what kind of phone you have, so I don't know if it's on Apple. If you have an iPhone, I'm also not a fan of Apple, so I'm an Android kind of guy. But the Vampire the Masquerade games, two of the 3 visual novels that are out on major consoles right now are actually available on the cell phone. And I have to say, the cell phone is a really nice place to play very, very beautifully painted visual novels like that. And I mean visually painted both in the art style as well as in the story and the crafting therein. So I think that's really nice. I also like games on phone are a kind of digital exception because APKs are so easy to extract and back up and prevent from losing it. We've had games that are pulled off of the App Store, but you can literally go on the internet and find a backup of it and boot it from your phone anyway. So it's like, that one I'm not so worried about. And I usually don't spend money on those games because you get the Google Play. I get Google Play points automatically anyway, so it's like, eh. It's always nice to see games with genuine love and care put into them instead of a AAA slop like making Black Ops over and over again. Although I'm guilty of buying and enjoying said AAA. I mean, I don't buy, like, we definitely have bought Call of Duty. Let's be very clear. Oh, hold on one second. I got to do something. There we go. I failed. I needed to flip a switch real quick. I don't mind repetition if repetition is good. Like, for example, just because something comes out, different iterations or a lot of different iterations of something comes out doesn't mean it can't be made better year after year after year. Call of Duty is an example of that, where I think it kind of comes in, it kind of waxes and wanes. Hey Ash, hope you're doing well today. We were just doing our talk before we jump into the game, but I hope that everything is going well and that the beginning of your November has done well also. I think Call of Duty Modern Warfare, Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. So I was a big fan of Call of Duty back when it was the very 1, 2, 3, the World War II games. Call of Duty Modern Warfare was a really cool change because it was the first kind of move into that modern. And it's actually a pretty good game. And it's, even the remaster version is really good. Modern Warfare 2 was a little bit more of the same. Modern Warfare 3 was a lot of the same. And then it kind of started to feel stale. And then they were going back and forth between Black Ops and that. Okay, Black Ops was kind of fresh. It was going between Treyarch and Sledgehammer. And then back and forth. And it got really stale. To me, it did. And then they moved into trying out different wartime periods. They tried Call of Duty World War II, which I actually quite liked because it was a return to form on something that I hadn't played or had been playing, almost 20 years prior. And I was like, oh, wow, this is, it's not bad. And then we went into Cold War, which was really cool to see. We hadn't really experienced that. And I thought, okay, this is kind of neat. I like that. Even if they kind of did the Assassin's Creed thing and we had different wars, like fought in different wars as different sides. I don't care. I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't mind the American Army, but, I honestly wouldn't be angry if we had a Call of Duty Revolutionary War. Like, I think that would be a cool turn, where it's like Call of Duty, with bayonets and muskets and flintlocks and swords, and you're playing as British or you're playing as about who's about to be American. I think that would be kind of a cool idea. I wouldn't mind. I think they've kind of delved into World War I. I wouldn't mind that. They used to have games like Medal of Honor, Frontline and Rising Sun were really good. Rising Sun more so than Frontline even, I think. I was like, man. So there used to be a lot of love in a lot of these war games. Medal of Honor Rising Sun remains, I think, one of the cooler games. And in fact, I would love to play it on the channel at some point. I really, really like it. It's a definite difference between making games because you enjoy it and want to make money and making games solely for money. It's kind of like what I've said before, is let yourself be infected. If you're going to infect yourself, let yourself be infected with something where profit is the symptom, not the core cause. Let yourself be infected by client centricity or by sympathizing with your consumer. If you let yourself become infected and obsessed with that, then profit is a good byproduct. If you let yourself become absorbed by profitability and people hate it, you're just going to run a ton of money in PR and in legal and whatever other, damage control you're having to do. I wonder how the zombies mode in that game would look like. That's a good question. I mean, I think that would, doesn't that sound like that could be kind of cool? It's a war long done, right? The war is 250 years ago. So it's like, all right, we're not bitter. It's kind of like playing Cold War. I'm not sitting there going, I hate you, Russia. I don't care. It's not the same as it was in the 1980s in this particular case, right? Or the same thing with World War II. It's not like I don't have any malice against World War II, Russia were our allies, right? So, but that would have been Italy, that would have been Japan, that would have been Germany as the quote on Axis powers, right? I don't have any issue with them now. We're not replaying it because I want to hate somebody. We're replaying something that's historical and playing it from a perspective where it's firstly educational in a lot of ways, but it's also kind of fun to see how things were back then, the guns that were back then. There's nothing wrong with that. I think a lot of people also have kind of gotten onto that where it's like, hey, if we play World War II games, we're automatically kind of going to go back into that mentality of hating Germany or of hating Italy or of hating Japan. And I'm like, no. It's that no, I don't think so. I think if you have people that do that, I think you have people that are too easily influenced and probably shouldn't be playing video games in the first place. There's actually been a recent thing which I find incredibly disappointing. I guess there are a lot of people that are saying James Rolfe. For anybody who doesn't know who James Rolfe is, James Rolfe was he's one of the progenitors of video game review material, more popularly known as AVGN, Angry Video Game Nerd. I think there are people now that are saying that all of his content, the way that he put his content out and being this hate game anger reviewer, and he says some pretty, at the time it would have been edgy because obviously nowadays you can everybody's pretty ascensorious. You hear curse words everywhere, but he would intentionally say these really long, ridiculous sounding, and he's got this Jersey accent. He'd throw spin on it, which I think was a little bit more endearing than it was, assaulting. But it was like, he put all this work into it, and I think there are people out there that are now kind of in protest of things that he put out, which again, he's been doing this for 21 years. First one he came out with was 2004. And I think now people are kind of like retrospectively in protest of him. I was like, oh, he's doing all this. And it's like, no, if you have people that are deriving these kind of angry, actual angry mentalities from what they're watching, then they're too imitatable. They're too mature and too imitatable, or too impressionable, to be watching this stuff. That's your responsibility then to make sure that they're not doing that. It's a similar argument to the stance that video games cause violence. Exactly. And in all honesty, I mean, there have been several studies that have come out that have shown that people that are able to get their anger out in video games are less likely to be violent in public. People that are able to kind of cathartically, to use the violence in a video game where they're hurting no one as a catharsis, helps them to alleviate or scratch that little itch in their brain. And most people, I think, are well-adjusted enough that they wouldn't just go out and hurt somebody, right? But at the same time, we all want an outlet. It's kind of like punching a punching bag or a pillow, or some people say scream into a pillow. It's like you do that in an environment where it's okay and harmless to everybody else, so that when you get into an environment where you're with everybody else, you don't do that to them. You screamed into the pillow so you didn't scream in someone's face. You punched the punching bag so you didn't punch somebody else. It's not that you couldn't restrain yourself. It's just, it is nice to get it out of your system. And video games are a really good way to do that. Playing Gears of War was always a good one for me. You chainsaw things in half. You shoot things, you blow things up, you crush things with a hammer of dawn. It's bloody, it's gory, there are ragdoll physics in the carry-on even, right? And yet, I've never felt like I need to go out and chainsaw somebody. I've never had the desire to go, oh, I wonder how real it is. Like, I don't care. I got my, if I'm angry or if I was upset, I go and I kill a bunch of these fictitious things that are literally the amalgam of ones and zeros, and then okay, I'm better. Took a breath. So, I think a lot of people, I don't know, I think a lot of people are, I think what happens is I think a lot of people want to demonize things that they don't enjoy, and they decide that this is actually something that I can speak to, that I think still happens to this day. I think everybody does it. I think everybody has seen it done. I don't want to say everybody does it, but there's a thing where how do I want to say this? If I want to make a point and I don't have a good grounding on what my point is, like I can't substantiate it well or easily, then I come up and I try to defeat your point by tying it to science or some study or something, which, by the way, may not actually be real. Let me give you an example of this, and this is a contentious example. Okay? Seriously, this is, I'm going to I'm prefacing this right now. What I'm about to say might upset people because it has, right? And it's a very sensitive topic. It is the topic of trans people. Now, that seems like a huge leap, but stay with me for a second. I don't have any issue with trans people at all. It doesn't bother me. I don't care. It's none of my business. Again, I have a sister-in-law in that, fine. That is enough. That's enough. Respecting them for who they feel like that they need to be in that regard. But there are a lot of groups that go out there and they try to latch it onto other things. And we lose the plot, Trans women are the same as trans women are real women. Well, then what is a real woman? Are we talking about biological women? There's this huge, and that it just escalates into this really semantic and useless argument. Instead of just being like, this is what I know, and I'm okay with that, and that's it. And it's kind of the same thing with video games. It's, with the women part of it, it's like there are people that just don't like the idea, so they're going to try and tie it in. Or there are people that love the idea, and they're just going to try and tie it in with something that isn't relevant and isn't true, or a true argument to their fact. You get into these semantic debates, and in games, it's kind of the same way. It's like, actually, games are really, really good for you because and then on the other side, it's actually games they actually cause violence, and it's like, well, when we're talking about cause, what are we talking about? Are we talking about directly cause? So there's this huge conflation and desire and need to dig in and to try and segue something that is substantiated with this other thing that we want to substantiate, and it's this ridiculous. It always moves in a negative direction. Just enjoy what you enjoy, or don't enjoy it, and keep that to yourself too, or whatever. Just don't stretch it into anything bigger. Just be. How am I trying to say this? Just, if you don't want to deal with something, don't deal with something. And if you feel like you deal with something. If you feel like you want to deal with something, deal with it. Don't try to make it so that everybody else needs to, or that you equate with this or that or the other. It's just, I don't know. It doesn't need to continually stretch into a semantic debate about why everything that you've said is exactly the reality of the circumstance for all people all the time. But it equally doesn't mean that you should start discrediting other people who have desires that are specific to them and don't affect you, if whether or not you agree with it being relevant. I guess is what I'm trying to say. It's a weird. I mean, I in order to do it right, I have to give a bigger dissertation on it. But it's like, man. There's a whole thing on it. There's a whole thing on the degradation of debate all the way down to the semantic level, just because you have a personal like or a personal hate of a thing, or of a person in some cases, because obviously I was talking about people as well as things. Hey, Bogus. Hopefully you're doing well today. I hope your All Hallows Eve had gone well, or your Halloween, or your Samhain, whichever it is that you are inclined towards. How are you doing, Retro? I'm doing all right. I'm just kind of enjoying the day as best as I can. I was doing some building and stuff earlier today, so I thought, well, let's take a quick break and try and do this. I did do some testing as a keynote here. I did try to do some testing on the game prior to launch, and so we are going to try and do a full 60 frames on this one because it's a lower resolution game, and it's 4K in terms of actual aspect ratio, but we're talking about in terms of texture and all of that, and we're going to see if we end up. I did testing, didn't have any problems with it, so we're going to cross our fingers and hope we don't end up with any problems in this either. I think that'll be, but otherwise I'm doing well. I hope you're also doing well. I know it's kind of late over there. I think you're what, a little less than an hour away from midnight, so over there. I was going to do it, and I decided not to do it on Sunday. I kind of like. I don't mind doing the Sunday ones, but I have so much to do to get ready for the work week on Sundays that it almost just makes the game, playing the game, a little less fun. And now here we are. It's cold. It's evening. It's it's like and I don't have to do anything. I don't have to rush to do anything. It's like I'm gonna open a thing real quick. There we go. Give a minute like that. There we go. I still haven't picked up Silent Hill F myself. I have this one, and I picked up Outer Wilds. Hold on. I picked up Outer Wilds. So I picked up Outer Wilds. This is Archaeologist Edition, by the way. So there's DLC. There's a DLC that comes with it, I guess. But anyway, I picked this up. I thought about doing Silent Hill, but I realized that most of that had gone. And I know you're asking bogus. I'm just walking through my process. I thought about doing that, and I was like, I haven't really got to play a lot of spooky games on the channel, and I have plenty of spooky games to play. But I was like, and so anyway, I picked up this Archaeologist Edition first because they took the Game Pass version off. I was very disappointed they took the Game Pass version off. And it's just so disappointing. So I had to actually go and get this one. And I couldn't get it. There's not a physical version on Xbox. There's a PlayStation 5 version, and there is a Switch version. And I couldn't find either of them. I went everywhere to find it. I couldn't find either of them. I think I'll probably pick up Metal Gear Solid Delta and Silent Hill F when they go on their first major sale, I guess, and we'll try and go from there. And then again, I'm really contemplating. I don't need it. I own Cyberpunk and Phantom Liberty, but I am really contemplating getting the GOG edition because of the ridiculous discount right now. It is, again, on GOG right now, the Ultimate Edition, which comes with the game Phantom Liberty. If you get the PC version, it comes with the soundtracks for both, the full soundtracks for both, some custom or some HD wallpapers, and additional quality of life upgrades packs. Obviously, I think it's $39.99 after tax, $43. I'm really contemplating on doing that because I'm like, man, that'd be really fun. I've thought about playing Cyberpunk on here too. I really kind of want to do. That's the thing. I talked about doing The Witcher after this, and I may very well do that. The Witcher is kind of getting to the point where it's now considered a retro game. It's 10 years old, right? And so I kind of thought, well, but I really want to do, what I definitely do want to do is I might want to take a break after this and between something like The Witcher and play another like retro, like a Nintendo or a Super Nintendo game. And I'm kind of thinking about which one of those games I'd like to do, because I've got a huge collection of them. So I'm kind of thinking about what I would like to do. Game Grumps had come out with had done Dracula for the NES, and 90% of the music on that game, by the way, is terrible. There's one song, that boss fight song though, which is fantastic, and I don't know why, but that was just a super nostalgic. Hearing that again was just super nostalgic to me because I had played that back when it was a much newer game. And it's like, oh wow. So I don't know. I'm thinking about maybe doing something like that to kind of break it up. It would probably be, depending on what the game is. I did get, actually, you know what? I thought about doing, I got the what was it? Collection of Mana, which, for the Switch. And I thought about maybe doing Secret of Mana. I thought that might be fun. That's got that also has, there's music in the Secret of Mana that just brings me back constantly. So I thought about maybe doing one of those. I'm not 110% sure. Or I might do, who knows, I might do TMNT from the Cowabunga collection. I do have the actual cartridge though right there. So. Yeah, I thought about doing it, so. I thought about doing it, but we'll see. We'll see. I'll put up a couple of options, you know, once we get closer. We're just starting this game. So we'll do that, but yeah. But yeah, anyway, to clarify my earlier statements, and I apologize, I didn't have a dissertation, but anyway, my whole point was just, it should probably be clear. It's just let people enjoy what they enjoy. There we go. Let people do what they need to do or want to do. Not everybody has to like everything that we like, you know. Not everybody has to dislike the things we dislike. Just let people be people. Have you ever played Ninja Gaiden on the channel before? I've played the classic Ninja Gaiden for the NES, yeah. Briefly. I'm not very good at it, but I enjoy it. Now, if we're talking about Ninja Gaiden Black, Ninja Gaiden Sigma, the ones that came out of the early 2000s for the Xbox and the PlayStation 3, I don't think I have. I do own all of them. As a matter of fact, I have the remastered collection. I don't think I've ever played those on the channel before. I've played and passed the first two. I have Ninja Gaiden 3, I believe, on the Wii U, which is interesting. But I also have the remastered trilogy, I think, that they came out with. I wouldn't be opposed to playing. Honestly, I wouldn't be opposed to playing the. I wouldn't be opposed to playing the NES one. I'm not great at it by any stretch. If you want to see someone who can play the Ninja Gaiden NES. Version very, very well. Thumb Bros. Thumb Bros is amazing. So that's a good suggestion. That's a very good suggestion. But okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and move over to the game. Now, I want to be very clear. I know very, very, very little about this game. Yeah, I know very little about this game. So I'm going to try my absolute best to not look like a complete idiot. But that is difficult, as I have a tendency to do that any which way. I worry, as a matter of fact, I worry I minced my words earlier, too, because I'm sitting there going, what I was trying to say, I don't think I said well. So, because I feel like there's a bigger... The comparison's in my mind, but I don't think the way that I said it was correct. So I'm sitting there going, well, I'm going to look like an idiot in the game, and then I feel like an idiot now, because I can't think of how to better articulate it, but I don't feel like I articulated it well. I'll have to think about how to word that better. I need to think on that. That's something I'm trying. I know I made a comparison, but I'm just trying to figure out what's the way that I could have said that I can make the comparison where it's correct, or it accurately reflects what I was trying to say. I think I have it. No matter how severe or how frivolous what you feel like you need to enjoy may appear outwardly, you should never have to justify it to anyone for any reason, period. Don't try and justify why you do what you do. Just do it. And those who care about you will support you whether they agree or not. be it in playing your violent video games or in permanent life choices. That might be better. You don't have to dwell on it too long. Well, I have to think about it, right? That's the other part of being acensorious is sometimes I'm as guilty of it as I'm as guilty of it as anybody is. Sometimes we say something and then we listen back to it and we think, that's what I said, but that doesn't reflect what I meant. And you have to apologize for a second and go, wait a minute, hold on, let me clarify. I think it's very important when you're in an area where you censor yourself. Like, I mean, obviously the censor part, I could just go cut it out. But I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that. I want to make sure that I come out with my point. So I have to make a correction and then try to come out with the thing that's more articulate. Because it was something that I don't know that it bothered anybody else. Nobody's commentated on that. But it bothers me because I think that the way that I said it was wrong. It was bad. So I wanted to make sure that I kind of put a bow on kind of more along the lines of what I meant. And I think that puts a better bow on it. Is you don't do what you do unapologetically, and you do not need to justify yourself, be it playing your violent video games or life choices otherwise. And those who support you will understand and assume the best for you and will be with you regardless of whether it is a choice for them or not. Whether that choice is something that they would themselves do or not. That's better. That's more along the lines of what I mean. There we go. Okay. I think that's, yeah. Because I did that and I kind of came out there and then I look at it and I'm like, I feel like what I said was not only not in service to what I meant, but I think it also could easily be misconstrued. And so I don't want to sit there and go, well, I got to figure out where I was in the moment. I got to think on that now. So, okay. I think that's better. There we go. Yeah, it's important. Again, it's important in a place where you're going to be acensorious that if you're going to do something like that, you recognize and admit where you said something that you feel like came across as more stupid than it perhaps was actually intended to be. And again, I like to think, I like to think as deeply as I can and with some level, hopefully, of profundity. But at the end of the day, I get tired just like anybody else, and I say stuff and then go back and go, that was stupid. So. So that's on me. I appreciate your tolerance and patience while I was trying to figure out how to best rephrase that, though. Thank you very much for being patient with me, because I am exhausted. And now we're about to move to a nice little kind of relaxing game, and I thought, let's get that. So, 1 second. Oops. Here we go. There we go. I had to put it... Let's see. You don't need to be overly critical of it. Good to just take it easy sometimes and not think too much. And I wish it were... To me, that's easier said than done. It is a nature of my condition. That to think or to not think is a greater effort than it is for me to think. The only time that I can find that I don't really think on things deeply is when I'm intentionally meditating and attempting not to. But to be meditative whenever I'm cognizant is to be actively meditative. And I guess that being actively meditative in that regard or in that way is me actually saying or doing or perfecting something. Sometimes it's meditative in work, but even still, it's not a matter of being able to think less. It's a matter of thinking more in a direction. Of course, unless you're worried about it being taken out of context, which I highly doubt will happen. Hey, it's not a matter of being worried about it. It's just, for me, it's the reason that I have so many different. So let's be straightforward for a second. I am as well overly critical of myself a lot. It's hard not to constantly think of what I could do or say better in a lot of scenarios. Which I think self-reflection is good. Obviously, if it's to the point of where I'm sitting there beating myself up about it, then that's unhealthy. Which I'm not doing that. But I also look at it and I'm like, I want to make sure that I got my point across to the people that deserve. You guys are here having a conversation with me. It's only appropriate that I do my best to ensure that the message that I intended came out to you in the way that was necessary, because otherwise I'm not giving you the opportunity to have an appropriate opinion, except for on what I intended. You only have an opinion on how poorly perhaps I conveyed it, and maybe even misconstrue what I intend. Not misconstrued. I misrepresented it, and you took what I did and think of that as a representation of me. It's the reason that I have a lot of. It's the reason that I'm not going to say I'm good at any of them, but it's the reason I have so many different skill sets. It's the reason that I'm a painter, and that I play music, and that I do this, and that I write, and that I enjoy to read, and that I build things, and that I craft things, and that because my mind, to quote Sherlock Holmes, my mind rebels in stagnation. Give me problems, give me work. To do nothing or to think of nothing unless it being a part of a meditation is to slide into madness for me, is to go into a circle of thought that is both illogical and uncomfortable in, I would say, a non-progressive way. So I wanted to make sure that I was very clear, but it's very difficult for me. Hello, I'm Manny Calavera, and I'm come here to something. Welcome in, Viddy. The inner machinations of my mind are an enigma. Certainly, I'm sure they are. But that's the beautiful thing about it, is to unwind that enigma. But if I find myself, I can find myself thinking too deeply, and I can find myself thinking too shallowly, and both of those bother me. But to find myself, if ever I should find myself not thinking, or a moment where I believe that that's what I'm doing, it is to slide into madness for me. It bothers me. It bothers me very, very. I mean, it bothers me on a level that I can't even describe. It's not a physical experience. It's a very, very difficult to describe experience. It's such a discomfort. So, I just finished streaming Act 1 of Grim Fandango. Oh, I didn't get a notification of your stream, Viddy. Otherwise, I would have been there. Oh, why am I not getting notified of your stream? I may have made a mistake. I am so sorry. I didn't. Yeah, no worries. I'm so sorry. I would love to have been there. I'm so happy that you were streaming again. So I was just like, I need to go back and take a look. It could be. It could also be that I've made a mistake somewhere. I did do some. Have redone some stuff on my phone, which is where most of my notifications would come from in that regard. I had to tighten some stuff down because of keeping some safeties for my daughter. Oh, it could be that. That could be the case. I know we do ours in the Discord. Vidi, just so you know, bud, if you ever want to, you are more than welcome to post your stuff. Maybe you did. I didn't see it, but if you haven't, you're more than welcome to post your stuff up in the Discord. In my Discord also, in the Retro Room Discord, because I know a lot of people would love to go and see you do your stuff too. Yeah, Twitch is really good about notification. I just don't like the Twitch platform. I don't like it. Again, anybody who does, your business, but... Alright, I'm going to try, and we're going to play a little bit of this and figure out where we're going. He even sent his link in his own server, and I just completely... I didn't do any promotion of my streams to somewhat deliberately go, okay. I mean, you're more than welcome to, though, if you decide you want to... or at least if you just want some of us to be there, because I mean, obviously, I'm happy to be there. If you put it, you can put it in the Retro Room, or you can send it in a. I mean, honestly, if you want, we'll make a private locked channel where just a few of us go in and you just do it there. Because I love watching your stuff. My favorite. I still really love watching your Banjo-Kazooie playthrough. Is still a favorite of mine. It's still one of the ones that I in my mind I go back to so fondly. It's just like, this is, the Vidi plays. I think Game Culture was going to turn up when I made the announcement. He said Grim Fandango is a classic. It is. Grim Fandango is such a fun game. Alright, let me jump in here then. Oop. And it's got Echoes of the Eye. Of course, again, like I said, this is the Archaeologist Edition. Cheers. New expedition. And loading. I can hit the X button to wake up. But what button do I hit to grab a brush and put a little makeup? For anybody who isn't familiar, that's a System of a Down song reference. Oh, wait a minute. I saw an action... Hold on, wait a minute. So there's a planet. I knew there were going to be... I saw something in the top right-hand corner, though. It's an action button. I almost could have rated the stream elsewhere. I think Mario Party Hero is doing a Mario Galaxy stream, and Gib is doing a charity. Oh, Gib, golly, man, I'm missing all the good people. Gib84, super fantastic guy. Super fantastic guy. I highly recommend him. Good at the moment. I'll have to message you soon regarding credits for it. Credits for it. How's your project going? Yeah. Okay. I've not listened to much System of a Down. They were one of my absolute favorite bands. Matter of fact, they are still one of my favorite bands. In the late 90s and early 2000s is kind of when I came onto them. I think they started in 95. But I was a big fan of their stuff around the late 90s and early 2000s. And I'm a big fan of Serge Tankian, who is their lead vocalist, and his solo stuff. He's done an orchestra one called Orca. An orchestral one he's done in Perfect Harmonies, Elect the Dead, Harakiri. Is really, really, really good stuff. He's just brilliant. Okay. Talk to Slight. What voice is he gonna have? So our pilot, back from your pre-launch camp out under the stars, I see. So it's launch day, eh? Seems like only yesterday you joined the space program, and suddenly here you are, leaving on your first solo voyage. What do you say? Ready to get this beauty off the ground? It's all fueled up and ready to go? Nah, let's wait for a minute. Wait a minute. Well, there's not a no here. You sure you fixed the retro rockets? That's the best thing I can ask. I can finally focus on the stream. No worries, Bogus. Hey, again, there's never any obligation. We're always happy. We're always happy to have you here, but there's never an obligation. If you show up, don't show up, or you can't, you lurking, I'm not going to think any differently of you. You're always welcome to do what you need to do, and we're happy to have you when you can be here. I've been playing MH Wilds for now. What is MH? What is that? MH Wilds. I'm not sure if I know what that is. It's also November, goodness sakes. November 2nd, which is fitting for Grim Fandango and Day of the Dead. It is. I asked you earlier if you got... Oh, yeah. Outer Wilds or MH Wilds. I don't know. I don't know you got... I did. I got to mention. I have my own rockets. Are you sure you fixed the retro rockets? That was only a problem one time, and then maybe a few times after that. But, hey, no reason to dwell on the past, right? Those who don't pay attention to their past are condemned to repeat it. Monster Hunter Wild. Okay, gotcha. Gotcha. I do have that. I've not played it. I need to play it. I have a steelbook copy of that game, and I have not played... Well, I have played it before. I've not played it all the way through. I need to play it. I've heard those games are amazing, and the only one I really played with any kind of fervor was Try. Oh, and I guess I play Ultimate, too. Anyway, you'll just need to get off the launch codes from... Sorry, you'll just need to get the launch codes from the Hornfells at the observatory. From Hornfells, that's a name. That is not a group. Before you can lift off, just bring those here once you've said your goodbyes or whatever. Alright, Slate, so I guess we are an alien like that. Maybe? Maybe not. I don't know. So it looks like this is where they want me to go. I kind of want to explore a little bit. Let me keep a quick eye on... Okay, so it actually you actually release. Let's see. I hope rockets aren't in the retro room, but I watched it, friend. I've not got let alone played Silent Hill F. Me neither. I recently played Signalis. Oh, okay. And I'm a bit of a Silent Hill nut. Recommend for stream one day? Okay, all right. A little philosophical again. Grim Fandango sort of asks what really is or was a good life. Good question. I think that is subjective, though, or at least again that's a personal thing. I don't know. I can't, like, you could do things in your life that I may not align with, whether that be philosophically, religiously, or otherwise. But because I'm not an authority on what is or isn't objectively a good life, then you and your fulfillment of that is completely dedicated to. Is completely reliant upon the people that knew you and things that you wish to accomplish with it, I guess. Arguably, a soldier's job who has proved an enemy could be his entire life considered good because he took the lives of others, and yet for most other people that wouldn't be considered a particularly good thing. Okay, so we've got this is an adorable little area. We've got a little Tefra and Galena. Tefra. Hello, astronaut. It isn't my favorite little troublemaker. We wanted to play hide and seek, but Moraine won't let us borrow the signal scope because it's really delicate and not supposed to be thrown around like that. Hey, can we use your signal scope? Can we please? We'll even let you be it. Sure, let's play. Woo! Okay, here are the rules. Galena and me will hide with with these radios. I'm putting more Southern into it than I need to. And you'll use your signal scope to find us. So it's a tutorial. That's kind of a cool way to do a tutorial. Last one to be found wins. Okay, close your eyes and start counting. I'm going to take a look. I need to adjust the color real quick because it looks like to me it looks like it's too... That sounded like yelping dogs and that scared me for a second. It was the mic arm. Does that look okay? I guess that looks all right. It looked a little orange for my taste, but I guess it looks not too terrible. Let me add some contrast real quick to it, just to get it to pop maybe a smidge more. There we go. Color depth looks a little bit better in my opinion there because it was looking a little washed out. Everything's kind of a shade of orange. Or brown. Which is anti-neon color, by the way. How can you... nobody can truly judge how your life is going until it has ended. Sure. Yeah, I mean, that's fair. One of the main female protagonists of the game spent more time helping children and animals at shelters, therefore she was qualified for a good trip in death, led a good life, etc. There are only temporary states of quality in one's life, yeah? Oh, I see the game doesn't have voice acting, meaning Retro can do the voiceover work. I guess so. We'll try. I like the games with no voiceover. These are children. There's no way. I haven't been a children for a long time, so getting a child's voice is very difficult for me. I was doing that. Vidi asked me to do House, and House, of course, is the guy Hugh Laurie, but even his voice has this kind of middle. I've got a little different, so I was like, eh. They're kind of adorable children, though. And my voice acting, please forgive it. I'm going to do what I can do, but I hope you don't mind my mentioning Retro. But I watched you on one of Siren Ivory's old videos about eyebrows, and well, wait, you don't look like Gandalf. I've been lied to. No, I don't look like Gandalf because I have my grays are hidden well in blonde hair, thankfully. Last one to be found wins. Okay, close your eyes and start counting. Fair play. So I am like one of those because I have two. When my eyes closed, I saw that I have. I might be bicloptic, but my eyes are vertically aligned. Why didn't I do a good house impression on my stream? Then again, that game has better voiceovers than I can do. I'm also that video is a couple of years old, and even then I had grays, but I had stuff short. Now my hair is long. My hair is very long, and my beard is much longer and much bushier too. Well kept though. I don't like scraggly beards. For me, I don't. Okay. Can I... Okay, so I have to go over to get him, though. Okay, alright. Oh, you found me, but my hiding spot was super good. Don't forget, you have to find both of us, Kay? Alright. What do you have, this little radio? Shouldn't have brought the radio. You knew I had a thing that was good about... Uh-oh. So it's a little difficult on this. It's going to be a little difficult to get used to, and I think that's intentional. The jump, again, is on the release. So normally you're used to when you tap the button, you jump. But the hitting the button is the wind-up. Oh. Alright. I won. I'm happy. Thanks for playing with this. It's just a tiny little, the tiny little text. Okay, so it stands to reason that I probably do look like these aliens because when I closed my eyes, there were two vertical slits. Okay. So the idea of that was the tutorial, I think, to help me talk to niece. Sorry. Hello there, Space Cadet. Lady voices are just something I cannot do. I hear you're leaving the crater today. If you meet any other travelers up there, remind them to take proper care of their instruments, won't you? Okay. Just saying hi before I leave. Take care of yourself up in space. All right. And she's got this neat little oh, really cool looking little banjo. It looks like it might have actually been made of a tree here. That's really, really neat. Alright. How dare this streamer not look exactly like how I want him to look. This is like looking for bunnies. Yeah. Button being the wind up for the jump reminds me a bit of Jump King. Oh, it does. Jump King, it feels a little bit more intuitive like that for me. With this, it's being a first person, it's a little weirder. Because like Jump King, it's like there's a maximum jump no matter how long I hold the button. With Jump King, the longer you hold the button, the higher your jump is. And so it's kind of like, okay, but in this case, it's a little weird for me. So I'll get used to it, I'm sure, but for now, it's a little... It's going to take me some... If I just tap it, it's not terrible. Okay, I don't really take fall damage. So that's good. Who do we have here? Someone... I don't know, who is this? This looks like a kind of fancy folk. Pop. Okay. Hey yo, hatchling. Oh, I'm a hatchling. So we were born from eggs, I guess, and I'm a new one. I hear you're leaving to seek adventure amongst the stars. When you return, let's you, me, and Goslin open up a bottle of the good stuff. I'm a hatchling. You're gonna help me. You're gonna let me drink? I'm only seeking adventure amongst the stars. Well, 1 star actually. The others are too far. The good stuff is less delicious sap wine and more daunting digestive challenge. Yeah. An iron stomach is the mark of a true Harthian? Harthian, I guess? I guess that's what we are, my friend. Our hardy hunter-gatherer lifestyle stems from trial and error, by which I mean our ancestors survived eating a lot of bad things. Right, but that doesn't mean we should continue doing that. Like, our ancestors survived from eating a lot of awful things too, but they also only lived to be about 35. Meanwhile, most of us will probably make it to 70-something. Oh, here we go. I guess he's older? Is he older, I guess? I can't tell. His ears are torn, so I'm going to assume so. You're actually blasting off in that thing, huh? They really... I'm told my odds of survival are statistically quite high. Yeah, the space program's certainly come a long way. I should probably thank you for causing fewer flash fires than your predecessors. By the way, good luck with those retro rockets. Alright. Rudel? I don't know. I can use a satellite camera? Oh, it's just a projector. Okay, it's just a projector is what it is. Are you hiding back? Oh, it's a suit. Okay. She has a banjo kazooie. It's very much like when you say you're imagining wrong. No, it's very much like you're thinking. It's just in Jump King, if you hold the button down for a long time, you have it's kind of like a bar that gradually fills, but you're not allowed to see the bar when you're doing Jump King, right? And in this, it's not really that. Like, you kind of always jump the same... I guess there's a little bit of a bar, but it's a much smaller bar. That's the best way. Alright, Marl. So it's launch day, huh? Hal's gonna miss you. Speaking of launch day, I was thinking about it, and that platform those ships launch from is getting old. Isn't it about time you built a new, less flammable one? That big tree in the village would be the perfect choice. I wouldn't mind helping out the space program, just say the word. We all know you have it out for that tree. What? No, I just think it's in the way and someone ought to chop it down, you know? Specifically, me. You think this has to do with that time I fell out of it and broke my arm? That was when we were hatchlings. Who would hold a grudge for that long? Am I not still... Why is it the day and night... How long is a day on this thing? Because it feels like it's been day-night 3 times and all I've done is say hi and find people. Okay, so now I'm going to go back. Let's go back. So this is a pretty cozy little village, though. Oh, it's spinal. Wait, what? You're leaving the crater. Guess we'll all be a little busier without you around to lend a hand. That big water planet, Giant's Deep. That's where I'd go. I need to find Hornfells. Did you try the observatory? I've literally never seen them anywhere else. Okay, well, I know where to look then. Back to the observatory then. I've already caught you. Jig is up. Hold on. Do I need to tell you I've caught you again? Oh, no. He's... Okay. Fine. That'll do. That's why we ask Retro. Yeah, but I don't like to pass time. Remember? I think passing time is you have to do it, but I think making it go any more quickly is a bad thing. There's a mini game, for lack of a better term, in Hollow Cure that is basically like Jump King, but in there you can actually see the bar. Oh, okay, okay. That's true. That's very true. I don't like it passing. I don't like it to seem like it passes more quickly. I'd rather be bored and it seem like it takes forever than to be entertained and to seem like the day just went by like that. What did he just throw? Okay. And that's one more of those projectors? Yeah, it is. What does he throw? Is he throwing what are those, like teleportation rocks? What are we doing here? I guess there's a shield, maybe? Is there a shield? I see everything. I don't know what I did. Was that a shield? And oh. Well, I hope that you guys enjoyed my playthrough of Outer Wilds. I didn't know I was dying. It's one of those things that looks like a cinematic. Like, did you ever watch the? Have you guys ever played? You guys ever played Half-Life? You get these little. You get these little things where you get flashbacks, and it kind of looks like that. Or Star Wars 3. All right, let's try that again. All right, we're just gonna skip the. We're gonna skip all the tutorials. We have what we need. We're just gonna go straight for the observatory. I could be bored and overthinking its life sometimes. I guess. Yeah. First, well, I don't know why I died. Like, I don't understand. I guess it was just a shield. But I thought I was like having a flashback or something. All right, we're good. We're just gonna we'll go straight to the observatory this time. No problem. Oh, that's right. I need to get the one from Hornfels. I said launch code, right? Hold on. Glad you're excited, but remember, if you wreck your ship, I'm not building you a new one. I'm not made of lightweight, re-entry grade aluminum alloys, you know. Anyway, you'll need to get the launch code from Hornfels at the observatory before we can lift off. Okay, so we just got to go. Okay, all right. So I had to remember I died because I guess that was a shield and I wasn't supposed to be there. But straight to sounds like it does sound like mist. It's called ghost matter, and there's a warning for it. I didn't read that. I'm sorry. I just did it, and I was like, all right, well, oh, who's this? Hey, it's you. It's late that you're blasting off in your ship today. I'm really excited to see the launch. Aren't you going to go up into space, aren't you? You better not have changed your mind. Yeah, okay, I'm still going. I want to practice with a pro before I leave. I hear you. Yeah, okay. You better be. It's been forever since anyone launched in space. I really, really want to see it. Really bad. Hey, you want to try it out with my model ship? Slate says it's just like the real thing, only less likely to start a fire. I don't know why I decided that person needed to sound like Mike Tyson, but that's what it is. Let's fly your model ship for a second here. Whoop. Okay, thank goodness. Okay. This is what I was trying to do, and I hit the wrong button. There we go. Ooh. It is kind of hard to... There we go. Let's try this again. It's fun to... It's actually kind of fun to fly the little model. But it doesn't land easy. Hold on, let's Hold on. I want to land on that little platform with the it's very, very sensitive. It's very like the buttons are incredibly Hold on. I think I is okay. Okay, so landing it is it's very physics based, which is good. Okay, and now can I land on the little one? The answer is no, my depth perception is bad on this. Let's try again. Oh, I came in too hot. Okay, fine. I think I'll finally be buying a new mic this week, coming to start a new channel. Oh, fantastic! I'm super excited about that. I hope the mic you was it the mic you were wanting? I know you had said something about the mic you were wanting not being there when you know. So I'm hoping it is. Gravity Gun from Half-Life took on a whole new meaning. Yeah, my mom used to play a lot of Myst. I don't think she got very far. Myst is hard. Myst, it's a fun game, but it's really hard. I think not many people got. I've passed Myst once. I have it on Xbox. She played Masterpiece Edition. Game requires a lot of note-taking. Yeah, which I think is cool, though. Physics and it's really cool. Yay, science. Okay, so if that's how it's going to be to fly my actual ship, I'm going to die. Where was the sign for the observatory? Am I going the wrong way? Let's see. Launch tower. Okay, so that's good. The observatory's over here. Cool, okay. We're back to the village. Follow the bridge, I guess, and then this is the observatory. There we go. Still nighttime, so there's an actual day-night cycle, which is kind of cool. It looks like, well, I said still nighttime. It was daytime. We had these, like, eclipses. It seems like time passes really quickly on here, so I'm going to make a wager that we are not on a planetoid. I'm going to make a wager we're on, like, an asteroid. Because either that or we're on an incredibly small planetoid. Okay. Danger inside the... Oh, my goodness. Yeah, you're exactly right, Bogus, by the way. There's a running joke on someone's YouTube channel where we ask, so, is this game like Myst? Referring to a game that is not necessarily like Myst, or first-person adventure puzzle game. Wish I could get into this game, tried a few times, and it never clicks. It's something I should love to. I've never really tried it, but I think it's something worth giving a run to, so I thought, why not? Okay, so inside this fence is a pocket of ghost matter, a strange and dangerous substance that is invisible to the naked eyes. The good news is that you can detect ghost matter with a camera. Moving through ghost matter is uniquely painful and will probably kill you. Don't complain to me if you hurt yourself fooling around, Hornfeld. Well, I didn't hurt myself fooling around. I killed myself. Okay, so I can actually use the camera and I can see there's ghost matter there. Okay. Alright, fair enough. I feel dumb a lot when I play Phoenix Wright's. I don't feel dumb. Phoenix Wright's a nice little challenging series of puzzles also. I mean, if you've never watched it, I highly recommend watching the Game Grumps playthrough where Aaron's like, hey, did he get shot? And he's got a knife in his chest, so it could always be worse. Alright, what do we have up here? Scout. Okay. Okay, so this takes pictures where okay, that's a cool idea. So it's taking pictures of where the little scout thing is, which it does kind of look like we could be on an asteroid. Because it's a very, very small... We can actually observe the curvature, so it's in... There's something over here. Very Minecrafty. Very, very cool idea. Okay, so I could read all of that, but we're not going to because I'm just going to poke around. Okay, so we need to find Cornfells. Let's see. This music is very like Life is Strange. That's not you. Very Life is Strange meets with comfortable. Okay, so yeah, so these are okay. I'm guessing there's something else to be done with that because there's smoke on it? I don't know. Dropped the game for like a month. I see eyes are naked, yeah. Masterpiece you ever picked must be something to do with the game. What do you play what are you playing after this? I don't know. I've thought about I kind of thought about doing just a quick retro game, 2-3 episode retro game. I had thought about doing something also like Secret of Mana, but that would definitely be more than a 2 or 3 episode game. So I might do something a little. It was suggested maybe Ninja Gaiden, something like that. I thought about maybe doing something retro like that, but I've also really thought it would be fun to play The Witcher. So I don't know why it doesn't make sense for an observatory to be under the ground, but we'll try anyway. I thought it might be fun to do Witcher though, because I mean, I do love The Witcher, and it is, again, it's 10 years old. It's pretty firmly falling into retro. I think most say that retro now has to be 14. It's considered retro if it's 14 years old. But it's 10 and a half coming up on 11. So this is this game. While this game is not that old, this game is 2019, I think. 0G cave, and then I can suit up. Okay, and there's fuel. Ah, I have a jetpack. And then there's I'm gonna assume that little thing at the bottom is supposed to be something of a gyroscope, or telling me. Okay, so what am I repairing? Let's see. Gotcha. Okay, how do I fix you? Hold on. Okay, that's what painter's tape. That'll do it. All right. Lock on. Match velocity. Okay. So the matching of velocity just makes sure that I'm not going too much faster than I'm meant to, I guess. Which is pretty good. All right. And then, where was the other one I didn't... Where's the other one? I hear it. So I fixed that one. It's 0G, so I shouldn't be using large amounts of fuel. It's not that one. It's not that one, so it's got to be the last one, right? There's got to be a third one, right? No, it's not above me. It sounds like I'm close, but I can't see it. F-Zero maximum velocity took on a whole new meaning. Yeah, I'm not seeing where the... See, I fixed this one, right? And so I'm thinking, okay. There's that. I figured the broken one would be this one, right? But I don't see where it's actually broken. It's got this wooden frame on it. See, and I fixed the base of that, so maybe it's not. Maybe it's more... Maybe it's inside? Hold on. Maybe it's where this red is. I see it. Just gotta bend these wires, put back together, and now probably not be in the center of this thing whenever it does whatever it's supposed to be doing. Oh, this was just a training simulation? Oh, really? Oh, well. Fine, I did alright, I guess. I'm gonna go over here in this hole. Let's see. Actually, this looks a bit similar to the tree, heavy terrain, and mist. Which would be cool, especially considering how big of a fan you are. I really like The Witcher. So, and there have been some changes. Recently, there have been changes with the way that The Witcher is. Yeah, it is. It's a gyroscope, or it tells me how I'm doing my thing here. There have been changes with The Witcher based on the new books, which we've gotten kind of in interview form prior with Andrzej Sapkowski, the author. And he's gone on record now as saying there aren't schools, different Witcher schools. Okay, I need to probably return my suit, right? Right here. There we go. He's gone on record as saying there aren't different Witcher schools now, so we need to... I don't know what the medallions... I mean, I know I know what the medallions mean to some extent, but I don't know the depth of it. Because originally, he had made one mention in The Last Wish that your medallion is a... the medallion is whatever the school The Witcher is from. And you had, according to the game lore, you had 6 schools or something like that. According to the books, you only had 3. Oh. Nicely done. Of course, it'll be a little more stressful when you're hurtling through space, but just remember your training and try not to hit anything big. I can see you're itching to get off this rock, so go get the launch codes from the observatory. And get out of here already. Best of luck out there, and hey, try to avoid getting yourself killed now that I've put so much time into training you. Got it? Alright. 0 GK. Okay, so we're still observatories this way. But anyway, yeah, so the medallions used to be, we used to think that it was the Witcher school. Yeah, the school of the wolf, and the school of cat, school of griffin. But apparently that's not the case. Apparently the medallions have some other meaning to them. And I don't know if we, with the exception of the cat, the school of the cat seems to be the ones that are actually unhinged. I guess that's observatory. That are actually unhinged, you know, failed. They've been made psychopathic by the okay. They've been made psychopathic by the trials of the grasses, and so they basically are failed experiments. That's just a slightly different anglerfish. We know what those are. But yeah, so now I guess the medallions aren't actually representative of the school. They're just, you know, everybody might have been trained at Karamor, which is fair because we know Cohen was in Blood of the Elves. We know that Cohen, who wore a Griffin medallion, was training Ciri in swordplay up at Karamor, and we also know that Preston Holt now, who wears a Viper medallion, Viper's head medallion, is also from Kaer Morhen. There you are. I just finished pre-flight observations and local conditions are good. Time to get our newest astronaut off the ground. All right. And you'll be our first astronaut ever equipped with a Nomai translator tool. I confess, I've been giddy all day just thinking about it. We're better equipped than ever to unravel the mysteries of the Naomi, or the Nomai. There we go, Nomai. You and Hal should be very proud of your work. Tell me, what's your plan once in space? I want to meet up with other travelers. I want to go somewhere no one's gone before. I think I'll start with something small. Let's do this one. I like it. You have plenty of options to choose from. I did. I just had them now. Not even you will. I just did. No one's ever landed the interloper before, you know. Perhaps you'll be the first. I must say, should you choose to go to Dark Bramble, be very careful. No one's explored there before either. For what you'll find are excellent reasons. Okay. Well then, looks like all that's left is to send you off. All in all, it's a fine day for a launch. It's difficult for me to... So, side note, something you may know. I have trouble reading light-colored text. It's very difficult for me. Dark text, no problem. Light-colored. So I might see if there's a text option to change the color a little bit. Okay. I'm ready to die in space. Let's do it. I'm not one for superstition, but isn't that kind of unlucky to say before a launch? It isn't unlucky to say before a launch. It's literally the worst thing that could happen. So if I get it out of the way here, then it may not have to. We may not have to have it happen earlier. At any rate, here are the launch codes. Try not to worry too much. Our ships are every bit as safe as Slate could be persuaded to make them. Good Lord. Best of luck out there. Let me know if I can help you with anything. All right. Anything like that. So scene specific, I know it's very heavily inspired. Yep, the hospital. Fill the film story. It's also a remake, but you don't need to see that. Well, looking back and forth over the cinema buffs. Yeah, if I do go through and I do The Witcher, because I am excited about it. If I do end up going and doing The Witcher, which I love, it will be kind of like the Star Wars thing, where I end up having a deep dive, and I'm like, oh, here's a bunch of stuff you probably didn't need to... Wait, what the heck was that? Okay. There was a rock on this thing before and it just vanished, so... The heck's up with... Okay, I am reading this. The strange rock moving around in the grotto appears to react to conscious observation. The level-headed among us realize there must be some sort of optical illusion at play, but Gabbro claims the rock exists in all possible states until it is observed, whatever that means. Whatever is actually happening, both sides of the debate agree that effect is extremely creepy. It's kind of like the Weeping Angels, then. Yep. Yep, that's exactly what it is. You turn your back on it and then it goes somewhere else. Alright, well. Is there another door that I was meant to go out of that I just didn't? It's this one, right? Yeah, it's exactly... Don't blink, don't turn your back on it. That's what it is. Everything that you've ever known is mine. I'd take the language of your mind and turn it into the language of speech. You no longer remember who you are. Okay, well. This remarkably intact statue was carved by the Nomai, an ancient species who dwelled in our solar system thousands of years ago. The statue provides us with our most detailed look yet at the Nomai, who appear to have been covered with a layer of fur. Note the decorative jewelry that has been carved as a part of the antlers. Although their artifacts and structures have been found on almost every planet in this solar system, we still have no idea where this species came from or what happened to them. Okay. Have you played The Witness, Retro? That's another indie that... Yeah, I really liked The Witness. I thought it was pretty good. I've vaguely heard... Yeah, I do have that one also. I thought it was alright. I wasn't opposed to it at all, honestly. I like puzzle games. Honestly, again, I'm very much a fan of the Frogware games, the Sherlock Holmes games, you know, so I do like... Oops. Oh, okay. Hey, did you get a good look at that Nomi statue? Looked at me and opened its eyes. Whoa, the statue was doing what? So its eyes just opened and then you saw images from your own memories and glowing lights flying around? You mean like a hallucination? Listen, no offense, but are you sure you're okay to launch, like, medically speaking? That statue's definitely weird. I mean, if you're saying it happened, then I guess maybe it did, but why? Hornfels tried everything to get that statue's eyes to open, and nothing like this ever happened to them. I don't think you're going to get any answers from the museum statue, but Gabbro said they were going back to Giant's Deep. Don't know which island they're on, though. Maybe they'll be able to tell you more. On the other hand, Gabbro's, you know, Gabbro. So maybe you'd be better off searching for more info on your own. Jeez, now I'm really jealous of you going into space. Hey, see if you can use our translator tool to find out more about the statue, okay? Good luck and safe flying. Okay, how do I use the translator tool? Okay, that's my sound tool. Do I have a menu? It's a flashlight. D-pad doesn't do anything. No. Flashlight. Yeah, I don't know how to use the translator tool. So, all right. Have you played the Sinking City? Yes, I have. I really like it. Is this Outer Wilds real? It's a real game. Why can't you shoot all these people? What kind of game is this? Well, I can, but it's only with like this thing, which is not an actual gun. It's just a sound thing. Sound scope. Shall we build a ship and go to say? I got 40 quid and I could put towards it. The rockets are made of styrofoam. You have to go up to text. It doesn't have a button. Let's see if it gives me a... Just real quick, see if there's an action. There's no, like, actionable. I just wanted to make sure I hadn't missed any sort of... Yeah, it's just the same thing on this. I thought there might have been an actionable on that, so... Kill them without... Translator tool, huh? Dr. TARDIS function is one of the human... Yeah, I mean... Alright. It didn't say anything to me, though, so, I mean, at the same time, in order to use a translator tool, one would think you would have to have a... something said. Yeah, I have played The Sinking City. I mean, I have all the Sherlock Holmes games. I have them all on GOG, and I have them all on Xbox, and then I have several of them on PlayStation. Testament Sherlock Holmes, The Devil's Daughter, oh wait, what's this? Can I? No, never mind. What is the other one? The Silver Earring, or whatever, the old one that was there. Chapter 1, which I think is great. Sinking City. Cool. All right. Oh, no, okay. Hold on. There's some in the next room. Let me go check it then real quick. Just 'cause, why not? Oh, really? I can't jump up there now? Alright, fine. We'll go around real quick, because yeah, I'll take a look. I just want to see how the translator tool works. Again, I don't know anything about this game. This is my first shot at playing it at all. So, I'm probably going to toddle about a little bit. Which I'm okay with. I mean, I would... excuse me, people that are, you know, really into this game, I always appreciate the help, but more even so than that, I ask for patience, because again, that's one of those things. I think it's fun. I'm discovering this game from ground zero, so like I'm always good with people helping me out. Don't get me wrong on that, but for people that may come in and be like, you know, you're doing this, you're not doing this, you're missing this. This is the optimal way. It's like, that's let me look like an idiot. I'm okay with it. I've been lucky. Nobody's really done that, but it's like, I have had that happen before where I was doing something, I was discovering a game and somebody came in and was like, this is the optimal way, and and I'm like, I'm not min-maxing here, guy. I'm just wanting to play. Okay, so that's not text. Addle rocks. Gravity pulls on objects from different directions. In fact, it's pulling on you right now. Oh, okay. So here's the thing. We're going to be super strong when we hit whatever the next planet is, because we've got gravity that literally pulls us from every direction. Which means we are probably on an asteroid, because the center of gravity is probably more coming from what we're orbiting and not actually our asteroid. Right, okay, so there we go. This piece of Nomai writing was essential to deciphering their unique language. Although this text is linear, Nomai text often branches off from a central point. Interestingly, each branch tends to be written by a different author. So it's very similar to the... It's very similar to the way that the Rosetta Stone worked, kind of, a little bit. Cassava. We're nearly ready. Felix and I have finished construction, and she says calibrating the device won't take long. Okay. Fortunately, the Addlerock's lock of atmosphere will make calibration simple. After all this time, I'm thrilled to finally resume our search. Okay. Okay, so if I'm wondering, does it need to get to there? It doesn't look like it's branching off anywhere else, so maybe it's just those. Let's see. Fun fact, everything in this game is physics-based. Oh, that is going to be fun. I love physics puzzles, so that's really... I've noticed you're playing a game I don't want to watch. Can you change it? I could, but I want to play it. Come on. I'm leaning... Okay, hold on. Let's see real quick. I'm leaning towards a PSP, Wii, and Steam Deck. Now I'll narrow it down. Steam Deck is really cool looking. Apparently, you can dock it like a Switch dock. That's pretty cool. Again, what I was saying is I don't mind the Steam Deck. I hate Steam. So if I get a Steam Deck, I would want to use it with GOG. If I can't use it with GOG, I don't need a Steam Deck. I've only really got the Wii of those options, and it can play Wii and GameCube games, so maybe that one. It can also play, every other... It's also a really great backwards compatibility machine, Vidi. So, for anybody... I've said this before. I use the Wii or the Wii U to do a lot of my streaming for some of these retro games. I own the original console, so I definitely have... I definitely stream from the original consoles a lot too, but I have also used it to do HD, because it's HDMI output for the Wii U, and I also have a Wii which has a Wii to HDMI adapter, and I use it to put out high fidelity image of my retro games. Dun, 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 dun. I gotta check something really quickly. Hold on. There we go. How come you don't like Steam? I often hear everyone say they do it right, but I've never used it myself to have an actual opinion on it. So I guess Steam just has worse DRM specs. That's just, yeah. How long has GOG been around for? Almost 18 years. Hold on. Yeah. Almost 18 years. It's 2007. That's when they started. He doesn't care about us. He only cares about computer and phone notifications. That's it. I'm leaving. Yeah, I got it. Well, I care about you guys too, but I also have to make sure my wife is okay. I discovered GOG later in Steam. Yeah, so I discovered GOG before Steam, so that could be a part of it. So the reason that I don't like Steam is because you do not own anything. Period. Anything that you buy, you do not own. If we found out yesterday we were going to play Prop Night, and we can't play Prop Night because they shut everything down. So we purchased it, and we purchased 2 copies of it, and it didn't. And we purchased 3 copies. We gave it away, but it's like, yeah. How is she? She's doing all right. She's all right. She's doing all right. She just, her day's has been a little rough, but it's been okay. I think all in all. So, when Chipette thinks they're Yoko, that was a good one. That was a really good input, by the way. But anyway, Steam, you don't own anything. The state of California has made it where it is actually illegal because they believed what Steam was doing to be a deceptive practice. You purchase a license from Steam anytime you purchase a game. You purchase a license to play that game. And if someone inside of that chain of command, be it someone from Steam or be it someone from the game server or whatever, believes that you've broken their terms and conditions, terms of service, they can revoke your access to that game. And that doesn't just mean the multiplayer. They can actually revoke, if it's a single player game with a multiplayer access, and you break your terms and conditions, or their terms and conditions in the multiplayer, they can shut you down from the whole thing. They can shut you down from having it. They can shut you down from the single player aspect too. When you buy a game on GOG, you own that game. If you don't have to be on the internet, you can put it on a thumb drive, you can put it on a hard drive, you can put it on a disc, you can take it to a friend's house who doesn't have internet, and you can play it straight off of that. And if you don't like the patch, the latest patch, you can roll back to an earlier patch that you prefer. If GOG has made the commitment that even if they, for whatever reason, have to close doors, you will have your games. They will make sure of it. They are all DRM free. So when you buy a game from GOG, you get a full DRM free copy of the game. It is yours to own, to play, to do what you want to with it, to burn it onto a disc, to take it wherever you want. Every game I own on GOG is mine. Every game I've owned on Steam is still theirs. It's just I have a license to play it. So people seem to think it'll be around forever. I'm intrigued if it changes once Gabe is gone. I might have missed I missed discs with games actually on them as well as... I agree. And so, again, GOG. Now, I get it. It's not the same, but hear me out here. When you buy a game on GOG, they give you everything you need to do that. Right? As much as I wish that they would actually send it to you, that would obviously increase the costs and the time. They give you every file you need to create a disc, and they even give you the old manuals. So if you buy, for example, Thief Deadly Shadows, Thief Deadly Shadows had a manual, but if you buy, whatever game you buy, you get a manual, right? There's Cyberpunk. Again, I'm giving you this is an example. If you get Cyberpunk off of Steam right now, it's whatever the cost is, right? It goes down and up and down in price. Let's say you buy Cyberpunk for whatever the price is. You get Cyberpunk. And let's say you buy the Ultimate Edition, you get the DLC. If you buy the exact same thing from GOG, now again, it's on sale right now for $40, Ultimate Edition. You get the game, you get the full Cyberpunk game, which you can put on any physical media you want, and it does not require internet to run. You get full Phantom Liberty, same situation, no internet required. You get a bunch of wallpapers. You get the manual and all of the extra stuff. They give you there's a mod kit if you want to add your own stuff to the game that you get, or if you want to take other people's mods and play it your own way. Scans of the manual and everything, and you get the soundtracks for everything, and they are yours. All of it is yours to keep, offline or elsewise. That is why GOG, that's why I hate Steam. Steam, you do not own anything. It is a license to play. You have a license to play it. GOG, it's yours. You can take it with you. There's a guy who makes manuals for new games. Yeah, and that's the thing too. Like I said, I could actually do that if I really want to. GOG includes manuals with all of my stuff. I can go and print my manual if I want to. I've done that for some things. Okay, here we go. It's a quaint little space. Oh, this is kind of cozy, actually. Okay. So I have my suit there. It's a little thing here. Cool. And I've got what looks to be a very slapdash air conditioning unit. Powered by magic. And then my little mission control ship log. And we have, what do we have? We have the interloper, that's me. Dark Bramble, which I'm not supposed to check. Giant's Deep, Brittle Hollow, Timber Hearth, or Hearth. And I have entries on that, and then whatever our star is. So, okay. Hal says, Gabbro went back to Giant's Deep to try to learn more about the Nomai statue in the observatory. Okay. And... oh, there are two here. The one and only Herthenville... okay, so this is where we're from. That's fine. Blah, 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 blah. Well, through GOG, it helped to lend Prince of Persia: Sand of Time to my dad. He cannot get very far, so he just watched my video plays of it. Very nice. Yeah, and you can also, again, you could do that. If you wanted him to play it, you can put that whole game that you bought on GOG on your flash drive, go hand it to your dad, he can plug it into his computer, download it from your flash drive, and play it. Or he can play it straight from the flash drive, honestly. He can do that too. People love the guy who runs it, Gabe Newell. I'm intrigued to see if the company changes once he's gone. I mean, they're already not. We'll see. The secrets of retro space. Oh wait, sorry. There are several that do, but I'm more interested in. Okay. Okay, so that's... the Nomai text in the observatory talks about calibrating some sort of device on the Addle Rock. I have the picture in my wallet. Very nice. Now I realize I don't have YouTuber faces in my wallet. Yeah. Yeah, I like not being... I like being more the disembodied voice than being the face. I may scrub my face away from the internet. Because it ruins what I stand for now. It ruins something that I believe that it ruins something that I believe that is more necessary than what I had originally thought was the most necessary. So. Alright, here's liftoff. I agree with you, by the way. That's why I've disappeared in some sense from the internet, at least visually. Yeah, I think to me, when I was originally thinking of... when I was originally thinking of what I was thinking of on there, it was like, oh, this is going to be fun, but I think it ruins something that I stand for now, which is the idea of promoting idea and of not myself being on there. Wait, what's this? I thought I was the interloper. I didn't think this was it. Wait, what's this? Okay, that is the interloper. That's the interloper heading back to our home. Okay. Let me turn the headlights back on. So Timber Hearth, Giant's Deep. There we go. That's where we're going. I will admit, if it probably wasn't for my showcase, I wouldn't have revealed my face. Then again, I probably could have found some other way to host that. Don't know. And again, I don't have an opinion against anybody who does want that to be a part of theirs, but I feel like that it hollows my intent. I feel like it hollows my intent. So I want to, I might go through and try to scrub clean some of that stuff. It won't have me on it visually at all. I don't want to promote it either. I'm just going to link it to a handful of others. I don't like being online. That's fair. Okay, hold on. Okay, I want to see if I can land on this without being... Because when I get in it, it looks like there's like a lot of gravity. Like it almost feels like gravity's pulling me. Okay, all right. So we're in the water. See if there's any land to land the ship on. It's a bunch of bramble. Okay, exit ship to repair. Yeah, I got hit by a piece of bramble on the thing, so I heard it crack. All right, so now I've got to repair. How do I repair damage? Let's see. Well, let's suit up firstly. And then gravity's 2.8 times. It's very, very dark. It's much darker than I expected it to be on here. Alright, how do I repair the damage to my ship? Did I just die? No, these are memories. Okay, good. Sorry. Goodness me, is this the game when I play it? Gonna require astronavigation's physics? Yeah, it's fun. If it's too hard, there's autopilot. I'm enjoying the manual pilot, though. Wait a minute. Yeah, hold up, you want to get the launch codes from the observatory first. Huh, must be inhaling more fumes than I realized. This stuff is potent. Well, if you got the codes, I'm not going to stop you. Good luck, and take care of that ship. So that was a death, but I respawned instead. Okay, interesting. The music sounds a little Pikmin-ish, yeah. I bet this game could give people motion sickness depending on the part. Yeah, that's fair. Older brother couldn't play F-Zero GX when it came out because it was too fast. F-Zero GX is super fun, but that game is freaking hard. Okay, so that was a death. So maybe I don't need to go there first. Let's see. I will see what the... I'll see what the autopilot's like. But I do kind of enjoy just flying the ship. Okay, so we're definitely not on an asteroid. We are on our own planet. What's this little thing? That's Brittle Hollow. Brittle Hollow. So we... Okay. What? They get sucked back in by the gravity of my planet again. Ooh, I got columns and stuff. I think I got... Yeah, I got pulled off, but I got pulled back into the gravity of my own planet. I was too close. That's the sun, so I probably don't want to go there. That's Dark Bramble, which I can go to, but probably shouldn't. That's Giant's Deep, which we just got killed on. So let's try somewhere else real quick. There's the interloper. Okay. Okay, Brittle Hollow. What happened? Be curious. Okay. Well, my first curiosity is what killed me? Speaking of F-Zero, will Nintendo ever really do another F-Zero? Is 99 kind? I think it'll do more. You win again, Gravity. Zap Brannigan. So be curious. Okay. Alright. We know we're not really in a time loop because he didn't ask me this time about if I had gotten the codes. I don't know what killed me. You were autopiloting a planet mid-autopilot. You stopped. Well, I knew I stopped, but I went back to manual pilot, but I don't know what I crashed into. There. Nope, that's... See, now there I do, because I hit autopilot. And it flew me into the freaking... Okay, now I'm in autopilot, and the destination should be... Brittle Hollow. We'll repair it in a minute. Goodness sakes. Where's Cher when you need it? Well, wait, not Groundhog Day. Never mind. Okay. 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 We're on Brittle Hollow, and I can actually see... Let's put the suit on. Let's try this again. This is kind of cool, though. Oh! You were autopiloting towards. Also, autopilot doesn't go around planets. It goes straight line. Okay, okay. Gotcha. That makes sense. Okay, gravity is 1.7 times what mine is. Alright, now it's 0.9, so I should be able to jump slightly higher. But probably almost immeasurably so. Okay, how do I fix my... There we go. Okay, this is kind of cool. This reminds me very much of like No Man's Sky, but not what we got when it launched. Kind of more along what it is now. So, okay, and then that top one is my oxygen. Very interesting that I need oxygen. It looks like gravity is lessening. As I get around here. It said signal, so signal would be... Okay, so I'm gonna find a harmonica, maybe? Whatever it is moving away from me at a fairly fast rate. Alright, my ship is there. Let's... There's like something up here. Let's look at this. Escape pod 1, and it's a distress beacon. Okay. Alright. What is this? This is the escape pod, right? Yeah? Okay. I don't even see where the translation is supposed to be. Is everyone unharmed? No one was badly injured from the escape pod's impact. We're incredibly fortunate. This is good news, at least. Have we heard from escape pod 2 or escape pod 3? No, I'm unable to make contact. My equipment can hear the other two escape pods' distress signals. However, if it's any comfort, both pods must be structurally intact. I'll continue calling them for them. My gratitude, if we can. The moon is approaching again. Oh, the moon is approaching. Everybody brace yourself swiftly. The volcanic moon has returned. Be cautious of falling ash and debris. I believe the moon has passed. The planet doesn't appear eager to have guests. We are certainly unwelcome on its surface. We need to find shelter, and quickly. The volcanic moon won't be gone for long. I observed several promising sites below the surface, but we'll need to construct a way for everyone to climb safely down this cliff. Perhaps we can build some platforms. Okay. This little cylinder kind of... it's alright. No worries. Let's see. So we've translated all of that. Good. Now let's... I guess try to come out here. And again, our gravity seems to be less... So there's something that is... Whatever's rotating us is increasing and decreasing the gravity. Okay, let's... Collision imminent, preparing for impact. Okay, we can update our ship log. Definitely a lot nicer ship than mine. Emergency escape hatch. Well, come on. I'm gonna fall into a black hole and die through a process known as spaghettification. Yep. This is going to be death for me, I'm fairly certain. Wait, what? This isn't how black holes work. Might be the only way for me to survive. Hold on. So the thing above that had 3 more purple things, meant you only read 1 message. Oh, okay, okay. I don't think I'm gonna make it there in time. I'm several kilometers away from my ship. Yeah. So fun fact, that's not how black holes work. If you go into a black hole, you will be killed through a process actually called spaghettification. Using oxygen as propellant. And I'm going to suffocate. Yeah, I was going to say, it's like, ah. Alright, I'm going to give it one more run around, and then I'm going to call it just this. I think it's going to take some practice just trying to fly things. I don't think I'll do a lot of exploring offline, but I do think I will do a lot of, like, practicing piloting and such, or try to at least. But I got stuck. I fell into a black hole. Try this again. I feel like that was the planet I probably should stick with at the very beginning. That's the Giant's Deep. Okay, Brittle Hollow. Let's try this again. Okay, so the dotted lines are actually supposed to align me with it, I guess. I better get going, lunchtime and stuff soon, and Viva la Revolution! Wait, that's Grim Fandango. You have a good evening, or good afternoon, Mr. Vitti. It was always it's always a pleasure. As it was to speak with you also. Okay, let's try landing here. Okay, that landing wasn't terrible. I didn't take a whole bunch of damage. Alright. Jetpack auto boost, auto equip. Freeze time while talking to others. Talking to characters journalists will prevent character from animations to play during conversations. Freeze. Okay. That doesn't matter. Freeze time while translating text. Okay, that's fine. Cool. Alright. So the landing wasn't terrible. I don't think my ship is damaged. And there was a big, like, temple-looking thing over here. I could have landed probably a little closer, but that's okay. I didn't see anything that looked like a door on this, though. Oh, I didn't see that. Since Doctor Who featured black holes, I'm just reminded black holes are, excuse me, hard to figure out or are impossible or something. They break laws of things that we would have established. So they're not impossible necessarily, but they're difficult because they break the laws of space-time, basically. That's the volcanic moon that they were talking about. Fair enough. They break the laws of space-time, and so the way that we perceive time is a measurement that we use, which basically is just is perceptually the culmination of the culmination of gravity and entropy or heat. And black holes, all of that stuff doesn't work the same way we thought it would. Gravity's different. The way that time moves or is perceived is different, and that's why the spaghettification happens. A person is basically stretched out infinitely and then folded, stretched out infinitely and then folded, just over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. And so, and again, they've called it spaghettification. It's a real, I know it sounds silly, but that is actually the term for it. I don't think we've actually had anybody die that way. That's just what they've deemed. If someone did die, that would be what they would call that particular method. So, but it is. It sounds silly, I know, but it is actually the correct astronomical term, cause of death. Okay, so there doesn't seem to be a way into that, as far as I can see. Looks like there's a little thing over here, maybe? Another ship? Okay. Gotcha. And there's a little entryway down here, so maybe that leads into the dome? We are running a little... kind of lowering oxygen, but that's okay. Let's try this as best as we can. What do we have here? I'm here! I did it! I put the ship down safely! In the ship that went down, I didn't sustain, in that ship that went down, I didn't sustain bodily harm. A few minor repairs, and it's like the ship never even hit those rocks. One of my better attempts. Feldspar would barely have laughed at me, I bet. That's good news. That's bad. The bad news, I haven't found a way inside the structure yet. The door's broken, and I know I'm not great at exploring, but I think I would have found a different entrance by now if there were one. Probably. I can't get inside from here, but I know that there are paths below the surface. I'm going to head north to the ruins on the equator and try to find a way down. Ruins on the equator. Door's broken. Door's broken. Alright, so there's a place around or about the equator. We are at the pole. Can I board this ship at all? Hatch is locked up. Alright. We're about the South Pole here, so then let's move... He's left the ship there. That doesn't bode well that he survived. Okay, oxygen's refilled. We'll return this. I don't know if I have to refuel the suit. But we'll see. Let's try and fly around to the equator. Just gonna kind of try to stay low for now. Okay, here's something. Okay. That'll do fine for now. Okay, my fuel's still down, so how do I refuel? Got it. Cool. Okay. So I'm actually on the North Pole. He said near the equator, but I can't tell when I'm in the ship. I can't quite tell what the equator looks like. So let's just explore the pole, I guess. Sorry. I had to sneeze. Okay, so there's some text. What do we got here? Okay. Has anyone observed the phantom moon that sometimes greets us in the night sky? Your thoughts interest me. I'm interested in our playful moon. It's much like its violent friend, Hollow's lantern. Imagine if there were 2 volcanic moons. Then I'd imagine there would be none of us left. Hypothesis, there can't exist too much lava. I strongly prefer we test the null hypothesis. Oh, well, fair play. This moon isn't volcanic to my unaided eye. Sometimes it leaves its friend Hollow's lantern for nights at a time. Okay. The nights the moon circles this planet appear random. It seems to travel as it likes. Okay. I compliment your eyes. How do you imagine it disappears? Hypothesis? Could it be a shift in the light spectrum? Suppose this moon is too shy to show us its fire. Fair play. So this was once a place where they stayed, damaged probably by the lava. This might have actually been a whole community. Let's see. What are these? Glowing areas. These might be just glow lamps of some sort. And blocked off door. Yeah, that's a skeleton. That tells me that that's probably what this was. Horned skeleton. So that, yeah, that's probably what it was. This was a Nomai settlement that was destroyed by the lava of the violent moons. Okay. Let's see. They've got this broken thing here, but this one's not broken. I wonder. That's too strong. I was gonna see if I could use the reverse thrusters to go down, but it's too strong. The Hanging City, below 50 meters. Okay. Do we have any evidence on this one of what this was? This one wasn't blocked off. Oh. It is still blocked off, though. Feldspar's spare jetpack fuel. It's annoying to schlep across the planet to the ship if I can't use my jetpack, so I'm leaving this here. I checked with my little scout. I do too use it. Hornfels, your burnt marshmallow, and the scout's integrity reading said this piece of brittle hollow is as stable as any, but who knows. If fuel's around, feel free to use it. If not, well, whoever you're reading this, note, I'm sure you've got bigger problems. Okay, thanks. I wasn't super low on it, but that tank probably... I didn't use the whole tank doing that, so I wonder... Okay. There we go, I can just jump over. I don't need the jetpack for that. So you've got this whole little area... heading towards the equator. So we've tried the South Pole, we've tried the North Pole, so it's got to be, it does have to be near the equator because it's pushing us up this direction. The gravity is. So let's see if we can find that real quick. It's also a good time to go ahead and reoxygenate. We'll refuel. I'll go ahead and return the suit for just now. I'm just going to try to fly halfway. Ish. Let's see. Somewhere maybe about here. I'm getting better at landing the thing. Yeah, kind of. Okay. Open this up. Cool. Okay. So we are. I was good. We're about where the equator is, and I'm heading the wrong direction. I need to go around about like this. Here we are. Let's use a flashlight. Okay. We've got trees around here, so oxygen. It's here. Okay. Plume Felix, I have determined this atypical shard of rock is the reason objects in this grove are behaving in a quantum manner. You're talking about quantum, you're talking about like a superposition? Like you have to identify it by what it isn't? The only other object we've observed displaying this quantum behavior is the wandering moon. I imagine this moon's behavior and this groves are related. Okay. In a note from earlier, Felix mentions this strange type of rock isn't found elsewhere on Brittle Hollow. What if it isn't originally from this planet? Ooh, may not be. Hypothesis, this quantum shard is from the wandering quantum moon. Perhaps it's even a small piece of the moon itself. Of note, a unique signal is coming from the shard. Obviously, our friend the wandering moon sounds the same. I've also heard the same signal from this shard produces calling out... same signal this shard produces calling out from Giant's Deep Timber Hearth and the Hourglass Twins. Suppose there are other shards like this one. Can I take that? Am I enjoying it? Yeah, this is... It feels like what... It's a scroll. Huh. I wonder. Okay, so it's a... Okay, I gotcha. Did I drop that when I did it? No. Yeah, I'm enjoying this. There's a lot of... Well... What happened to my ship? Oh, the black hole. Oh, really? Let me in. Let me in. Hold on. Let me in. We may make this yet. Come on. Okay. Let's drop the scroll. Hold on. Let's return the suit. See if I can drop this scroll somewhere. I don't know. Let's buckle up, though. I don't know if we might have to brace for an impact here. Okay. All right. Well, we just barely survived. We just barely managed to survive being... So this is the black hole. Okay, let's leave that alone. I'm going to go back into the black hole, which this is actually kind of cool because how things are looking with this being all... That is expected to be like what it would look like to actually look at a black hole. Can I fly back into it, though? Does make it difficult to pilot. Oh, I'm gonna... It does make it difficult to see where the heck you're going. No, that's Giant's Deep. I need to go back to the... no, not Dark Bramble. Yeah, anyway, I was saying I like this quite a lot, actually. It's the open world kind of puzzle part to it, which I think is really neat. It is definitely confusing. Okay, let's engage autopilot and head back to Brittle Hollow. We got lucky. I saw my ship had fallen into the black hole. And then I was able to jump and chase it, and I was able to get back in the ship. That was kind of cool, honestly. That there's a moment like that, too, that kind of makes you feel a little bit like a hero, because it's like... I just was able to survive, barely was able to survive, but I just barely made it into my ship in the middle of space. That's pretty cool. And what's happening, I'm noticing now, is that Brittle Hollow is having... It's alright. That'll do. Those chunks that are getting knocked out of it are actually chunks getting knocked out of it. Alright, so we've got that. Let's go ahead and refuel. Open the hatch. I gotta make some repairs real quick to the ship. I think... right here. Okay, cool. It wasn't majorly damaged. And then I just have to hope it doesn't hit the ship again. I'm on the equator still, so I'm doing alright. I'm kind of where I was already. Okay. There was a thing. Here it is. Here's what I was looking at. Okay. All right. So let's see if I can do this without my ship or myself getting dropped back into the black hole. It's another one of these updraft things. Okay. The black hole's there. And then similar... Okay, so can I put... Doesn't fit. That's what I was thinking, though. Drop scroll. That's not going to fit in these either, is it? Let me drop the scroll for a second. Projection stone. I'll bet you that fits in here, though. The heck was that? Okay, pick up the scroll. I don't know where the scroll fits. I mean, I know it fits in the walls, but I don't know where the wall that I need it to fit in is. God dang it with that frickin'... God dang it. What is that? I landed on a piece of land that had been, I landed on a piece of... I landed on a piece of land that had been hit by the frickin'... I hit a piece of land that had been hit by the volcano and broke off. I am many kilometers away, so there's no way I'm going to hit my ship. Not to mention, there's a good chance of the gravity of that sun pulling me in, since star gravity is pretty intense. And I'm literal kilometers away. The odds are that I will easily deplete my fuel and oxygen before I get there. Possibly not, but very unlikely. Oh, that sucks. That sucks. Okay, so we're watching a new galaxy be formed, but that's going to kill us because gravity is now going to increase exponentially, and we're going to be killed by the heat wave. Well, so for frame of reference, we just witnessed in a matter of a couple of seconds what actually takes billions of years to occur. We watched a Big Bang happen right there. We watched the heat death of a star, and then we watched the heat death of a system, basically. The implosion of a star and a Big Bang. Or, that's a relegatory term. An undulation, let's call it. All right. I think this is a really, really interesting game. I'm actually quite enjoying it. I really like it, but I am going to go ahead and call it. We've been streaming for about 3 hours. I think that's probably good. Let's put some, we'll put some music on. I can't hear the music. Okay, I think I can hear that a little bit better. Maybe. Yeah, okay. It's a little quiet. Okay. We witnessed a supernova. But a supernova, that's the thing, is a supernova generally, especially if you see an entire sun, you see it collapse like that, it's the heat and the particulates from that which scatter and find their way into another area, basically. And then they end up being usually being, it could either be like a, oh shoot. It depends, I guess. It depends on other forces in there. You have, I think so the remnants of a supernova create what will become a new star, new planets, or new, that's what happens. That's how new galaxies and such are born. So you can't have it just become a black hole. That's also possible, but in a lot of instances, it's when a supernova happens that you see all of the particulates being made or utilized into what will later become a new galaxy or a new universe in some cases. It's very possible that our Earth is a remnant of some other exploded star from several billions of years prior. And we were consumed by a freaking supernova. This game's fun. I like it. I like the ability to kind of go off and explore. It's got some checklists and such. It does move. Again, we saw a supernova, but at the same time, we saw something that usually wouldn't happen in the blink of an eye like that happen. So it's kind of an interesting thing to have been impacted by that. And I'm also curious if that supernova had occurred as close to our planet. Me remaining on our planet would also have we would have also died, because that looked like that was the primary star in our galaxy. It's all about exploration. It's really cool. I actually am quite enjoying it. I kind of started off, I was like, this is interesting, and then okay, well, this is kind of cool, but now I'm seeing you can just do anything, and I'm like, all right, this is... Like, I'm really interested now to go back to Brittle Hollow and figure out how to get to because apparently there's something else to be found. I see that the center of it is this black hole, and that it's being the planet's being broken away by the volcano. But then there's also stuff that's still not destroyed that I'm like, there's got to be more that I can uncover to give me direction. So it's really, really cool. It feels like what No Man's Sky, like I said, No Man's Sky had promised to be at the very beginning. Very nice, though. Very, very cool. I'm going to say a huge thank you to everybody who came in, to Viddy, to Ash, to you, Bogus, of course, and to Fighting Max, who popped in to keep me company, talk with me about a plethora of all topics, and to listen to me sit here and fail multiple times and be spaghettified a couple of times. So you got to visit every planet at some point. Oh, I'm excited about that. They all answer questions a different planet creates. See, that's really cool. I'm excited to visit all of them. It's just kind of learning more about it and figuring out what, kind of getting better. Like Brittle Hollow felt like the natural extension of this planet because I can at least land and there are some safe areas, and it's, but whereas Giant's Deep, it's like there's this one piece of land and then you have this constant hurricane of water. So it's like, man, I'm going to go to sleep now because it's very late for me. Nice stream today. See you next time. Hey, thanks so much for the help, Bogus. It was a pleasure to see you. Pleasure to get to talk with you. But yeah, thank you so much for the help. But yeah, huge thank you to all of you who had suggested this game. This is actually quite a lot of fun. I'm very interested to kind of dive deeper into it. So, but a huge thank you to everybody who is here today. A huge thank you also to everybody who is seeing this after the fact. Thank you for popping in, seeing it, tolerating all of my unusual deaths, but nonetheless a lot of fun. If you are interested in stuff that we are doing here with playing video games or talking in general, before we usually talk, we have asensorious conversations about different various topics and different various comparisons and the like. Very, very interesting. If you decide you want to kind of reflect on something a little deeper. In addition to that, we also have other wonderful channels that I'm going to recommend down below. That's going to include Omega Ace Gaming, who's been playing through the Resident Evil collection, I believe, as well as Viddy's gaming videos and Viddy Plays, as well as Thumb Bros, who's just recently done some additional speedrunning and had done some Ninja Gaiden stuff. And then, of course, Fighting Max has also been there, and Ash does have a channel, although we did receive confirmation he's going to be working on some stuff. I highly recommend checking out his stuff if you get the chance, because it's a lot of fun. You can definitely tell as a person very passionate about the games that he enjoys and the games that he doesn't even. So it's wonderful to hear that kind of genuine commentary on things like this. Otherwise, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your weekend. I hope you guys have a wonderful beginning to your week. And thank you so very much. We will see you next time. Bye-bye.